Welcome to the bloody kitchen, where the only things hotter than the stove are the food fights we're about to dive into. You think a ruined risotto is bad? Try a war sparked by a bloody emu. That's right, you heard me right. We're counting down the top 10 foods that started conflicts. From feathery fiends to fishy feuds, these everyday edibles sparked disputes that would make a Michelin inspector run for cover. So buckle up, you bunch of donkeys, and get ready for a wild ride through history's most ridiculous food fights. You won't believe the lengths people went to over a decent meal, or in some cases, a complete lack thereof. Welcome to our countdown of the top 10 foods that started conflicts. You won't believe how these everyday items sparked major disputes. Australia, 1932. Picture this. Miles of farmland, a scorching sun, and thousands of emus, those giant flightless birds with an appetite for destruction. They were wreaking havoc on the crops, driving farmers to their wits' end. Did the government step in with a sensible solution? Did they buggery? They declared war on the emus. You heard me right. A full-blown military campaign against birds. Spoiler alert, the emus won. Next up, we're sailing into the icy waters off Iceland for the Cod Wars. Now, you might think a war over fish is a load of old codswallop, but these guys were serious. From the 1950s to the 1970s, the UK and Iceland clashed repeatedly over fishing rights. Boats were rammed, nets were cut, and insults were flung like fish guts across a market stall. It was absolute chaos, and all for a plate of fish and chips. Listen up, you lot. In 1794, America decided to slap a tax on whiskey. Now, anyone with a lick of sense knows you don't mess with a man's drink. The result? The Whiskey Rebellion. Farmers in Pennsylvania took up arms, refusing to pay the tax on their precious booze. It was a showdown between the government and some very thirsty citizens. In Chapter 4, the War of the Golden Stool, a royal pain in that... Now this next one takes the biscuit. The Ashanti Empire in Africa had a sacred throne called the Golden Stool. It was more than just furniture, it represented their entire kingdom. So when some idiotic British bloke tried to nick it in 1900, all hell broke loose. The Ashanti people fought tooth and nail to protect their precious stool. It was a classic case of you touch it, you buy it, only the price was a bloody war. Chapter 5. The Pig War. This little piggy went to war. You think arguing over a parking space is bad? Try arguing over a pig. In 1859, on a little island off the coast of America, an American farmer shot a pig that belonged to a British guy. That's all it took to spark a diplomatic crisis. Troops were deployed, threats were exchanged, and the world held its breath over the fate of a pig. Thankfully, no one got hurt, except maybe the pig. Chapter 6. The Pastry War. Let them eat cake and fight over it. Listen up, you muppets. In 1838, France decided to declare war on Mexico. Why? Because a French pastry chef claimed the Mexican government owed him money for some damaged pastries. You heard me right. They went to war over bloody croissants. It just goes to show, never underestimate the power of a good pastry or the pettiness of a disgruntled chef. Chapter 7. The Toledo War, borderline bonkers. In the 1830s, Ohio and Michigan decided to have a little tiff over a strip of land called the Toledo Strip. Now, this wasn't just about some empty fields. It was about access to valuable resources, including, you guessed it, food. The war itself was more of a series of skirmishes and standoffs, with more posturing than actual fighting. Still, it just goes to show people will fight over just about anything, especially when food security is on the line. Chapter 8. The Lobster War, Crustacean Chaos. Hold on to your berets because we're diving into the lobster war. This time it's France and Brazil, duking it out over, you guessed it, lobsters. In the 1960s, these two countries clashed over fishing rights off the coast of South America. France claimed lobsters were free swimming, while Brazil insisted they crawled along the continental shelf, making them fair game. Chapter 9. The Salt March, taking a stand, one grain at a time. In 1930, Mahatma Gandhi led a peaceful protest against the British salt tax in India. Salt, a basic necessity, was heavily taxed, and Gandhi saw this as an injustice. He marched hundreds of miles to the sea, where he and his followers made their own salt, defying the British monopoly. It was a powerful act of resistance, proving that even something as small as a grain of salt can spark a revolution. Chapter 10, The Eggnog Riot, Yuletide Yuck. Finally, we end our culinary carnage at West Point Military Academy in 1826. Picture this. Christmas Eve, a group of cadets and a whole lot of spiked eggnog. What could possibly go wrong? Well, the eggnog flowed a little too freely and things got out of hand. Furniture was smashed, windows were broken, and the cadets rioted until the wee hours. Talk about a holiday hangover. Outro food for thought. Well, there you have it. 10 times food sparked absolute mayhem. It's enough to make you lose your appetite, isn't it? But before you swear off eating altogether, remember this. Food is more than just sustenance. It's culture, it's history, and sometimes it's a bloody good reason for a fight. Thanks for watching. Which food conflict surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating